All right, everybody, and thank you again for returning for another Lord of the Rings of Power review here at Big Go Belt Media, where Terrell and we cover our top 3 anythings of this episode. Yeah, and this is your first time checking us out. Here's how we do it. We don't try to plan and strategize before the show. We come on here, we let you know what our top 3 anythings of this episode could be. Number 1, it could be our favorite top 3 moments, our least favorite moments, our top 3 characters, whatever. So with that being said, if you listen this far, hopefully you like and subscribe, but also jump in the comments, let us know your top 3 of anything of this episode. So I don't know what Terrell is going to cover. He doesn't know what I'm going to cover, but we're going to find out right now. So Terrell, you, my friend, can start us off as we cover episode 7, The Eye of the Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. What is going to be your subject matter today?
Boy. My subject today is what I like to call, are you serious? So these are my top 3 are you serious moments of this episode. No particular order. No. I mean, not like as far as like ranking.
Yeah.
Get this one out the door first. Something that I've suspected since episode whatever it was that we came to this land, but the are you serious moment is obviously the key gets activated and the land that they in, but officially becomes Mordor. I should have known as soon as I saw that volcano, but once I got confirmation, I had it in my head last week, and I just like, oh, okay, the orcs, everything, it just makes so much more sense. The scenery, like certain places that were around, I'm like, I should have caught it earlier, but just the land just becoming completely decimated by that volcano, man, and becoming what we know now is as Mordor. And just be the most unholiest of places that you could possibly be in freaking Middle Earth. And of course the place that they have to travel to for whatever reason on foot in the Lord of the Rings in the regular Lord of the Rings trilogy. Man, I just could not believe that this was the place. I'm like, okay, it's got to be more than one volcano in Middle Earth, right? This can't be possible. This can't be the same place.
So wait, quick question, because I don't know this, and I figure I'll just wait to the show, because as we do cover our top 3, we do like to talk about the ending and explain to collectively together. But to add to your point, I guess for me, I was like, Adar is the one who sort of like in facto named it, because it was like, well, what are you going to name this place? And then we get the title reveal of Mordor. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, I like how they did that. And I'm just saying, like, is he the one who said this is what the land's gonna be? I also think it's funny how he's claiming credit for this. Either way,
you gotta do something. We ain't gonna see him later, right?
he didn't get the job done with the key, but he's like, yeah, well, I guess me and my kids here.
Maybe there's something that they don't explain. Like, he did a handoff, or the guy wound up taking it, because he's already revealed himself episodes back that he had some type of contact with it.
Oh, okay, cool. You're saying like a collective strategy amongst the two of them.
Right.
Gotcha. Very weird.
He essentially was the distraction while the plan got done with.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. That was I should have known. It was my Are You Serious? First Are You Serious moment of the episode.
Yeah, damn. All right, well, my top 3, and I feel like I might have done this with my other on a previous episode, but it's okay, because if I did, I'm just gonna bring it back, because mine's definitely go to. I mean, mine's might have been holy shit before, but okay, This is definitely holy fuck for me in my top 3. So my first holy fuck moment was Queen Regent asking about the journey outside of the gray, and it essentially was like her saying like, oh, well, I'm tired of all this smog. Of course you should. A volcano just erupted. And then they were just like, well, how long are we gonna be in this gray? And then it was like, oh, we've been out of that for like a mile, sweetheart. Like, you good? And come to find out, the queen is blind. She's off her Kenshi in Mortal Kombat in this joint. And I just did not see that coming. And I think that one, she actually becomes a casualty of war here because we really didn't see her get her hands and feet wet. She kind of was all as a queen should, so it's fine. But the moment she gets involved in the recovery recovery effort to kind of get everybody that's kind of laying around, from the folks that were laying around after the volcano erupted under ashes or under fire or debris or whatever it may be, that's when we see like a structure sort of fall on her, and that was all she wrote. So she lost her vision, and ultimately we now see that everybody from Numenor is going back, and instead of it just being like we done our part and we gone, she now declares that we will return and we will be alongside of the elves, and then Galadriel said the elves will be ready. So like this kind of united them, but ignited her to want to fight more than she ever did before. Except now she absolutely has to come up with a different strategy because of this. And you could imagine her going back, the conversation with her dad. Does he let her go? Does he let Numenor go? This is a lot out of something that I'm not going to say could have been prevented, because that's what he's going to say. But this is a very unfortunate like outcome of circumstances where she was literally that close and she decided to help, and this happens to be the result. And she seems to be taking it pretty good, but everybody around her isn't. That's the other thing. Like everybody's kind of just like, oh nope, she's done, and she's kind of like, nah, I'm out here. Like we ready to go. So yeah, Queen Regent being blind is my definitely first holy fuck moment, because I did not see that coming.
Her moment of like I said, getting blinded. I mean that obviously if she wasn't there, that would have been prevented. But that whole event would have happened whether she was there or not. I mean, that's the thing that Numenor needs to understand, is like whether they decide to be involved or not, it affects everywhere. You know what I mean? Like whether they were there or not, it would have happened. Somehow it would have happened.
Yeah.
But I think they just feel more, as the captain feels responsible. Like, we shouldn't have been here. I shouldn't have picked up Galadriel from the water. All of this could have been prevented. But yeah, you save yourself, but the rest of the world winds up suffering. Regardless if you guys had helped or not. And I think that's one of the things that they jump back into with, Numenor destroying itself by just not, continuing to not want to be involved in anything or try not to help anybody. But we know how that plays out later on.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll see how it plays. But yep, that's my number one.
Okay. Well, going into the Are You Serious? Number two for me. Finding out that Galadriel has a husband and she could dance apparently. That really caught me off guard. Theo is like, what? you married? Because she comes off as the character that is completely motivated by duty. She's completely consumed by this mission that she picked up from her brother to find Sauron, stop Sauron, and to stop everything that we know is going to happen. They don't really give you a lot of backstory coming into the show with her character other than she's on this mission. But I had to find that out. I mean, to find that she had time in her life to, have gotten married and can actually take a moment that's not serious and dance. I think that's pretty serious. Like that was a big moment for me, and just kind of like the character's reaction to the news is what really made that hilarious. Yeah, like
she's a badass. So you're like, wait, you like you're in love, or you were in love? Right. I thought it was a funny moment as well too. I was just kind of like, oh yeah, they just played her. They literally just played her like she's not deserving of love because she's an ass kicking machine. I was like, dang,
right? Because I mean, like the journey she's on too is like
very self motivated.
Yeah. It's like she's gone for a long time. Like, so are you still married at this point? Is he still around? Like, I mean, elves lived for a long time.
Yeah, that's true. And we all know where her future goes. So it's like, it's not uncommon for these type of relationships, and it's not uncommon for, human elves and elves and hobbits, and we see it. The age factor isn't a thing, and I think everyone's kind of driven by destiny. So like everybody's kind of okay when somebody has a quest of sorts, no matter how much separation it may cause. I think it's just one of like, I love you and good luck, and I'll be here when you get back. And we just see it more and more, especially in terms of the films and now series that, like, it's just not something that they're not afraid to explore. So yeah, they definitely played her like she just wasn't deserving of love. My number 2 holy fuck moment, it really finally, because I've been waiting for them to make an appearance on one of my lists. This goes to the Harfoots here, because I mean, what a day they're having. I mean, it's like a casino. Listen, when you're up, you need to get away from the table and walk away. As we see them really restock on all of their goods, because the stranger does his thing and he just regrows all of their harvest, and it's a hell of a time for them. This is the happiest we've seen them in a long time, because everybody is eating, stocking up, and it's just all good. It's all good. And at the same time too, it's kind of a little shady, because y'all was just ready to like really like off my man because of an accident that had nothing to do with him. Like they literally wanted to point the finger at him like, yeah, they got hurt because he didn't make that tree branch fall on them. But he did his solid. He restarted the growthing of all of the greens in their little community, so now they can eat. They not only could they eat right now, but they had enough to like stack up for a long time, and this is all good. And as I said, when you're up, you need to get away from the table and walk away. Because what's funny about this is why it's a holy fuck moment for me, is because any other time they be like, oh, hide. But nope, not this time, because now that the trio, the nomad, the ascetic, and the dweller are here, obviously en route of the stranger, and they're doing a little flame trick, and my man is just like, your flame. I'm sorry. They decided that they wanted to take their flame and try to point it at them, and then obviously they looked at that flame and was like, pity flame, and put it out with their hand, and then spread it over everything that they had just recently grew. And now they're back to square one because they lost everything. And it's just, to me, it's just like, y'all could have just laid low. Y'all was way outside of y'all. And again, I love Nori, and Nori trying to do her best in terms of like, he went that way, and then they obviously hit her with the Batman or the instant transmission and comes up from behind her, and I'm just like, oh no. But I get it. Nori folks are definitely much like us. I think at some point, we're as an audience, I think we're going to be really protective of Nori. They're really building that emotional connection with this character. So like, I get it. He tried to step up for his kid, but y'all know y'all have to lay low, because y'all know y'all have not a chance in any bit of conflict that is going on. And any other time, y'all just low key about stuff. Y'all hear stuff and whatnot. Also note that they did see debris where they're at. That means they're not that far also from now Mordor, because they got so like, just thinking about, when you think about like other folks converging on each other, just realize that like sooner or later we're going to start getting more and more bigger groups of these different stories that they kind of all started us on. Right. But yeah, man, when they set everything on fire, I was just like, yep, and that would do it for the day. And they set everything on fire and they rolled out, because like, this is obviously a small fish in the sea to them. They're off to find a stranger, and they left. But they lost everything that they just got, so they're now again scavenging for food and strategy and survival. And it's just, man, what a terrible day at the casino. The story was like, yeah, man, I was up like 4,000 or 5,000. He's like, yeah, how'd it go? I'm like, yeah, bro, I just, I got 20 left now. Yeah, lost it all, man. Had to use my mortgage money, man. So there's that. But yeah, my number 2 moment was the Harfoots versus the trio that's going after the stranger.
Yeah, that was a good moment. They lost, like you said, lost all them apples. Number 3, man, is are you serious? Find out Captain Elendil's son died after him protested for him to. Oh, you need to get out there and do something. You need to do something. And now he mad about it, right? Like he's upset. He's sad that once he's like, hey, what happened to him? Yeah, he gone, bro. He ain't make it. Like which I'm surprised, but also did they really confirm that he died? I don't really think they showed.
Hey man, listen, we're obviously fans of this show, and there's gonna be times where we do these reviews and we're gonna have moments that kind of cross pollinate on our different lists, and so I'm just gonna step in and say that my number 3 of my list of holy fuck moments is the horse leaving.
Oh, yeah,
because the horse. But think about this. We talked about this. The horse. It's that bonding commitment that the horse has to its owner, rider, whatever the words that they use. Notice how the horse was like, I'm not getting on this ship. And why did he run off?
Okay.
Why did he they say he's not listening to nobody? Think about this now. The horse confirmed that Isildur is still alive because he's going back to go find him. And as we know, and we can keep it self-contained for what the series is, but as I said before, spoiler alert, this character's canon. Leave it at that. But I love how they did this because, yes, you're right. Now, he has the resentment towards Galadriel, one, because he's just like, I should have never saved her on the raft. And then he's mad because he lost his son. He's obviously not really, he's not showing it to, okay, I think this is pretty fucked up that I said he's not showing it to Queen Regent. Of course he's not because she can't see. But he was definitely sad in front of her, like, I don't want to go back because my son's here.
Right.
But he tried to take the horse back. But as he told his son in the previous episode about the bond that the horse has with his rider, his owner, that horse, his horse, is definitely letting y'all know, like, I'm not leaving until I go back and find him. That's what's dope about that, is that the horse made a statement of saying, nah, okay, cool, y'all can go, but I'm going to be back here trying to get my mans and whatnot. So, did he confirm? They didn't confirm, but the horse did.
Right. It was mad rude of him too not to respond to his queen when she was calling for him. He was like a foot away from her. He was like, Captain, what's up? We leaving or what? He's over there crying and shit. I'm like, oh my god.
He questions everything now, He questions everything.
Like you said, I mean, like to the general audience that's probably watching this with no background knowledge of Lord of the Rings is probably like, oh, he's gone. Like, oh yeah. You gotta watch that Fellowship. You gotta watch that $2. You know what I mean? Watch the director's cut too. Those 8-hour editions.
Nah, just watch everything, man. Watch the entire joint that takes 3.5 hours each one. So go for it. Go hard or go home. And they're on HBO Max, I believe too. So yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
each version. But yeah, that was my third. Yeah, just everybody, his whole motivational change pretty much like after hearing that his son has died. Like I said, like the first 3 episodes of the show. He's upset because he feels like his son needs to serve Numenor in some type of way, and here it is. Your son served, and this is what it cost you. So.
Not to mention too, his loyalty has been to the queen the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time he kind of defied her. He was kind of he ignored her in plain sight. I mean, okay. I did that one. I know I did, but like, this is the first time we see him kind of deviate from what he sort of preaches. And that just shows you just how much his son means to him. But the story between the two of them is going to get really good. I already know. So as the horse now makes a claim into like, I'm the most loyal to him, and as the horse runs away. So that was really cool how they did that.
And this is we got the sky that Adar said he wanted, and now those orcs out here running the land. So
yeah, and they got names too, as you tried to say.
Carlos,
anywho, let's get to the end of this playing. Obviously, we talked about some parts of this already, but I'm gonna kind of set the table so we can get exactly into everything and kind of throw out some theories and whatnot. So we do know that this small defeat absolutely got everybody fired up. The Harfoots are at even in this moment of defeat for them in their little small battle, they're actually saying, listen, we're gonna go look for the stranger. Like they felt like essentially they kind of exiled him, and then now they're just kind of like, you know what? Nah, we have to go after him because we had him wrong. So that's where we're seeing them go after him, who is also being tracked by the trio. So, now the Harfoots are not just looking for sort of a colony to kind of build on their own. They're actually switching their whole little plan to go look for the stranger. Queen Regent on the boat. She's like, we're back to Numenor, but she said we will return. Sounds like an end credit for a Marvel movie. So I guess that's something we can really take to the bank. Maybe, maybe not, because everything changes now. That when she has to go back, she has to go see her the king. She has to go let her know, like, hey, things,
right.
yeah, things didn't kind of go the way I thought it would, but sort of the way you did. So, but she really hasn't seen the evil. Okay. No more puns.
Wow,
No more puns.
The puns.
Anyway, the elves stay back. And not only just that, but we do see that what's his name is Hellbrand is hurt. And he needs elven medicine, so that's where we see the two of them go off to. And this is interesting because I just watched The Return of the King, and this is also another strategy of where, like, when the king leaves, or the folks that everybody look up to, it's always that bit of like, what are we going to do? But everybody sort of gets that feeling of like, this is always going to be for the better good. In The Return of the King, remember when Aragorn didn't know how they were going to fight all the Oars, and they knew their numbers wasn't matched up, and he had to go inside the cave in order to get the dead soldiers to get them to fight. But when he went in there, everybody was just like, wait, he's just going to just leave us like that? And they was like, no, he must. And I think this is the sort of same thing of saying, like, no, they must go do this. Like, this is important. We need the king to be as strong as he can, but also because she's going to go see some elves. I do think it is interesting that what's his name? Because now I'm forgetting everybody's name. Arondir. I also think it's interesting that, like, he has no desire to be around elves. He's just kind of like, listen, I'm staying with Bronwyn, I'm staying with Theo, and that's what it's going to be. But I would have thought that this potentially could have been a moment of him going to also further recruit, to kind of set the table into everything that's happening, because he knows a lot of the land in terms of what's been happening. He knows about Adar. I mean, everyone knows about Adar to an extent now, but I mean, I think he still would have a say at the table that makes sense for him to want to go too. Also, you probably need extra protection for the king, but I don't know. It just was weird that he just kind of ducked that. Anywho, but with that being said, they sort of do get them. Everybody sort of gets a fresh start there with the new Numenor colony and whatnot. So, that's where those folks are at. We got Galadriel and Hellbrand going off. We got the Numenorians going back to Numenor. And it's
5 minutes.
The biggest thing right now is everybody keeping their promise.
Right.
And now we're going to see who's truly going to do about that. I mean, again, Hellbrand's not hurt. He's hurt, not dead. And which was a cool moment when they did found him, when they went in there, and they said they found him on the road, and I kept thinking, like, man, what a terrible first day for him. But yeah, like I said, this is why they have to go off to get him the elven medicine, because, as they all said, strength to the king. But I think really important here is Theo getting Galadril'S sword and calls him soldier. He is listen, for a person that kind of is really the reason behind all of this.
Oh, for sure.
He gets a promotion to soldier as he nods towards his commander, and he also starts to chant to shrimp to the king. So, like, Theo now getting everybody fired up is not something I seen coming and whatnot. So yeah, there's that. Now, Durin and his wife, who failed his father, and they basically called his father Vince McMahon because
he doesn't want to change.
Yeah, he's old and outdated, and basically said, "You're going to be one day. This is going to be your kingdom." And I love that his wife gave him the pep talk that really opened his eyes up to everything. So yeah, I guess we should talk about what is the most important part of this. This is where, like, if you don't know anything about, like, geology in Middle Earth, just don't worry about it. You'll be okay. But you can resonate locations by certain by certain races or species,
right? And
you can also sort them by a big fiery monster that is at the bottom of their thing. Balrog is here.
So, like, to that point, you know, Dad wasn't wrong when they do that reveal. Like, if we keep going at this, or if we keep like revealing this, with eventually that you're gonna unleash something that, you know, whatever. So he wasn't wrong, but the intent behind it was terrible. Like his attitude about it, his distrust for elves and stuff like that. So
Yeah. I mean, again, yeah, he's outdated. He's outdated because, right, that's the thing, is like he sort of just he sort of just he didn't say it, like you say, he didn't convey it in the right way. He has this very narrow mindset of this is how we do things, this is how we're always going to do things. He doesn't want to explore the idea of disunion again. And he also talks about everything you do is going to be the demise of the Dwarfs, you know. And I think that, like, it is very small minded. There is some bit of fear, and I think there also may be some bit of envy as well too. I don't know. It's a hard read, but yeah, I did not see this coming. I did not see him basically foreshadowing, like, if you keep doing this, like, something bad's gonna happen. I was like, okay, well, I mean, bad, like what? Like the elves are gonna turn on us? That's what I thought he was going to. I didn't think he was gonna be like, yeah, you just keep going. First of all, I gotta say this. I love the idea that they threw the leaf down and it was like a Disney moment. The leaf falling down all the way to it. I was just like, oh, there's gonna be something nice that happens here. Then it turned to fire. I was like, oh, more fire at the end. Here we go. And I did not suspect Balrog to be there. Which, folks, if you have seen the original trio of Lord of the Rings, Balrog is, yeah, there's this very popular character called Gandalf who had a good run-in with our guy, and our guy definitely had one up, and everybody thought Gandalf was done, and I think we all thought Gandalf was done.
I thought
he came back to be Gandalf the White after Gandalf the Grey. Yeah, took an L. So and then that's where we get the last moment where all the orcs are going to say, well, we got to learn now, Daddy. What are we going to do? What are we going to call this? And he's still with his people. He's alive, first of all, and he's with his folks. And then we see the title reveal of Mordor is here. So fucking cool how they did. I love that. I love that revealing. So in this, you know, it's not much of a theory here. We just know that, like, we're just seeing more and more things. So basically, these last few episodes is the more and more the development of the Mordor we have come to see later on. So we've seen the landscapes from the surface level. We also are seeing the makings of things on the bottom, under the surface. And we also can kind of get an idea that, like, what is the route that folks take and how close are everybody to one another? Because we do want to see, and that was a big thing of the Lord of the Rings before I actually started to read any of the novels, is that we got these stories happening in different locations where we like, I cannot wait till, I mean, and even when you're talking about in Return of the King, where you're just like, I cannot wait for Gandalf to return next to Argon. Like, I can't wait till they actually a thing, and then we can't wait till everybody converge to Sam and I can't think of it. Frodo. Yeah, you know, you're just waiting for that. And I think it's the same thing here. It's like, you want to know when the Harfoots are going to end up, you know, becoming to with Bronwyn and them, and when does the Númenóreans come back, you know, and when, and who does Galadriel bring back, you know what I mean? And you know, and Adar claims he doesn't answer to nobody, but hell,
he got a boss.
He definitely has a boss. And like, when did we see the reveal of them? And this episode was called The Eye. I don't even have to even tell you what we know happens next episode. When that mountain ain't just out here becoming the end of civilization. This is the creation of life. Not the life we want, though. But Terrell, go ahead.
I mean, bless you, Jeff Bezos, for the movie quality, because that's one of the things I wanted to do. I wanted to talk just the shots of locations, man. Just, oh my god, just breathtaking in the show. Absolutely, yeah. Like, but yeah, man. Like it started off a little shaky, but man, has it gotten good? Like, has it gotten good? And it's getting into the point. Like, oh man, this is definitely a show I want to see for seasons to come.
Absolutely. I think we got 5 of them, so we'll be good for a while. And folks, hopefully you'll stick around with us as we will be here each and every week with our review of The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. This is episode 70. Jump in the comments, let us know your top 3 of anything. You know, top 3 moments, top 3 things you didn't like, the top 3 unbelievable things, the top 3 things you got question of. Give us ideas as well too. List them all in the comments below, and we'll be back each and every week with more reviews. Thank you for watching, folks.